Hello, we're at the Scottish National Portrait Gallery. We're about to unveil a very special work of art.
It's the prize commissioned by winning artist Callum Stevenson of world-renowned violinist Nicola Benedetti.
Welcome back. It's Portrait Artist of the Year.
72 artists were chosen from almost 2,000 applicants. They painted a dazzling array of celebrity sitters.
Oh, goodness.
Whoa! How do you want me?
Comfortable.
Okay, is that good? How does that feel?
All hoping to become Portrait Artist of the Year.
Callum Stevenson first impressed with his striking depiction of fellow Scot, the actress Kelly MacDonald.
I love the cool, restrained quality to Callum's painting. Actually, the likeness is really spot on for me.
I think it's a very elegant painting.
His portraits of Pink Floyd drummer Nick Mason and legendary actor Barry Humphries kept him in the running. And the tender portrayal of his partner, Kelsey Young, helped him secure the title of Portrait Artist of the Year.
I am almost lost for words because I feel the painting, I don't just see it.
And the winning prize is a £10,000 commission. Callum's sitter, Nicola Benedetti, is an internationally renowned violinist. She has been performing since she was 4 years old. The Benedetti Foundation has inspired thousands of young people to connect to the power of music.
We follow Callum as he sketches,
Perhaps a little subtle smile, just a wee bit.
takes photographs, and paints.
Have you got a plan of action?
Yeah, just paint it.
All part of his biggest challenge yet.
It's time to see the portrait of Nicola Benedetti by Callum Stevenson.
Portrait Artist of the Year winner Callum Stevenson lives and works in Bonnybridge, Scotland.
He was always drawing as a wee boy. Quite like this one. That's quite, yeah. At the start of this year, we lost two dear family members. Callum's gran, who was my mum, and his uncle, my brother. His gran was forever talking about him going to be on TV, and she couldn't quite believe it. So I know that she'd be extremely proud of what's happened to him, as are the whole family.
So this was a school competition. I remember we had to design the best Santa sleigh. This was my rendition, the Santa tank, which is covered Santa's basic needs.
Callum is a recent graduate of the Glasgow School of Art.
I've got a studio in my dad's house. It is a complete joy to be able to do painting every day and love what I'm doing. I look forward to it. Sometimes it is a little bit lonely if you're working on something that requires a lot of attention, but I never don't do it. I always bring myself to the studio and crack on with what I'm doing. And I would say it is effectively my life.
It was always a concern that he could make a living out of it and where he would go with it when he came out of uni, but I think he had to give it a chance. I gave him my full support because for me, doing something that you love as a career must be absolutely brilliant.
You know, I used to think that he got his talent mainly from his mum, but I found out just after my father had died that he was quite a bit of an artist as well, so I'd like to think that I've got some input there.
Winning the competition, it really feels like a dream. I've woken up and it didn't actually happen. It's just surreal. The anxious side of me is coming out the more I think about the portrait, which I've still got to do. I've obviously not met Nicola yet, so for me right now it's a scary stage. I want it to be the best painting I've ever done. I don't typically listen to classical music, so I want to get into it because it's such a big part of what I'm going to do with the painting. I want it to resonate.
While Callum is adept at painting portraits, much of his previous work features a collage of images, which create powerful narratives.
I see myself more broadly as a painter. I don't narrow it down to specifically portrait painting. I do urban landscapes, I do collage work. I work with figure a lot, but a lot of the time it doesn't even have the face in it.
I travel to the degree shows in Aberdeen and Dundee every year to look for talent. It's not very often that somebody really stands out for you. I saw Callum's work, really liked it, and immediately connected with me. It preyed on my mind. I could see that he could draw, I could see that he could paint, but it had a little bit more than that. It could communicate with me. I had an emotional response to it. I could tell that he had a story, that he was trying to say something. The paintings were a little bit ominous. They had an element of threat to them that I liked. I would have used the word figurative artist because all the paintings that I saw had figures in them. So they were riot police in France or strange, almost alien-looking doctors doing things to a subject. So not so much a portrait painter as a figurative painter. I offered him a slot in a 3-person show. Callum was only the 3rd artist that I've made that offer to in 20 years of running the gallery.
The Scottish National Portrait Gallery is one of the oldest and most prestigious portrait galleries in the world. Callum is meeting its director to discuss expectations for his winning commission.
So I first visited the Scottish National Portrait Gallery on a school trip. Back then I wasn't too into art. I always enjoyed it, but I had never considered it something that I could do. I hadn't really been doing my own work. It was mainly observational drawing, things like that, painting from life. The National Portrait Gallery showed me so many interesting artists. Ken Curry, that's the one that stands out to me the most. And I remember being so amazed that that's what art could be. Now, eventually having my painting in that gallery is going to mean a lot to me. It's really exciting and terrifying as well.
Hi.
Hello. Lovely to meet you.
And congratulations as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's just completely surreal, and to be somewhere like this as well, phenomenal. It doesn't really get much bigger than this.
Well, that's a very nice way of putting it. We don't intrude too much. The gallery is there to, if you like, nurture the relationship between the painter and the sitter, and think a little bit about expectations, but not to dictate too much.
Do you have any expectations for the painting or the portrait?
We're absolutely thrilled that you're going to be working with this amazing sitter. I mean, Nicola Benedetti is an extraordinary musician. I've been lucky enough to actually see her perform, and it's a very intense and uplifting experience. So if in some way you can convey that, I know that's asking a lot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real challenge to capture the kind of emotional side of the music, but I'm going to do my best, of course.
That's fantastic. I mean, she does have this ability to sort of, you listen and she transports you to somewhere else. So if you could just arrange all that, that would be great.
No pressure there.
No pressure at all. So it's great having the opportunity to provide some context. Particularly keen to show you this painting. It's one of the most loved and admired late 18th century portraits in the collection. A great picture by Sir Henry Raeburn of Neil Gow, famous as a brilliant fiddler, composer, and a man who celebrated Scottish music, actually, so it seems entirely appropriate. A different world to the world of Nicola Benedetti, but nonetheless really interesting to think about.
Exactly. The artist has really delivered a kind of trance that the musician has put himself into. There's this unpresent expression he has in his face. It's almost like he's part of the music. You can almost hear it being played.
Would you like to actually go and have a look at the spaces where your portrait will be?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to.
Brilliant. Come this way. This is the modern portrait display, which is where we put on show all the most splendid, recent, new acquisitions for the National Collection. And it's undoubtedly one of the most popular parts of the whole experience of the Scottish National Portrait Gallery as well. So I can give you some idea of the sort of space in which your terrific new portrait of Nicola Benedetti will be eventually hung. Here, a slightly intimidating blank wall.
It's amazing being here, having visited so many times, and it really does make it hit home.
With gallery expectations high and pressure on himself even higher, Callum has come to Surrey to meet Nicola for the first time. She's in rehearsal for a series of London concerts, which begin at Wigmore Hall.
It's quite nerve-wracking until I'm there, and I would say that the biggest challenge is still I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm yet to see everything, and it's kind of like going into the unknown a little bit. I'm not sure what to expect.
Hi, Callum. How are you doing?
How are you?
Oh, thank you so much for coming to visit me.
Yeah, it's really nice to meet you.
Such a pleasure to meet you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
About this. I'm kind of nervous myself.
Me too.
This
Amazing.
piano trio has been working together for a very, very long time.
3 days of intensive rehearsals are just beginning.
Nice to meet you.
He's the artist, not the drawing person.
Nicola and acclaimed musicians Leonard Elschenbroch on cello and pianist Alexei Grinyuk have performed as a trio on and off for a decade.
Let's go from that there.
All the time. There's not really melody.
Okay.
This is a variation without a melody.
Okay, go from the beginning then.
Yeah.
Hearing her play was just so much more powerful than I'd imagined. I've been listening to songs, headphones and stuff like that, but it doesn't even do it justice. It's intense. It's such a powerful position, holding the violin under your neck like that. I think it definitely makes me want to use it more. It has to be in it somehow.
I think this sounds better now. You're just presenting the theme.
Is me drawing interfering with your rehearsal or
Not
playing?
remotely.
Okay. I'm not even here.
No, it's not. No, I feel that you're there. There's no question about that. But you have a very focused presence that's really comfortable. I'm like mildly curious as to what's on there. No.
At this stage,
patience,
it's so...
patience, and you're just exploring, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited.
No, but how much do you think what you're hearing is influencing what you're
massively.
doing?
That's only something I'm just realising.
It's like creating a whole emotion that you wouldn't...
Well, it's maybe helping,
guiding I hope so.
Yeah. I feel like it's really feeding into what I'm doing. I've been listening to your music while I'm drawing and doing other things recently, but it's 10 times more intense sitting here, and it's really like impacting me and with much more depth. It's kind of interesting, and I don't get the chance to do this ever, so it's really like a unique experience.
Oh.
It is a bit confusing because I'm playing one rhythm, you playing different rhythm, and Lana playing third rhythm. Yeah. But we have to somehow coordinate that. Shall we do it without any kind of rubato at all?
Yes.
Not passion. I kind of zone out. It's just about analysing what I'm looking at, and I don't think about it too much. There was so much going on all the time, trying to capture various angles and responding to the movement.
We just play those 2 bars, just you and me?
I took a lot of photos today, so there's a potential for some of them to influence what I'm going to do. I think that's going to change how I start approaching it now that I have something to look at. So this sketch is me responding to the movement.
There's a lot of different states of concentration and intensity.
Yeah, trying to capture the likeness is really quite different from what I normally do. And I actually have one I'd done last night. I didn't have too much to do last night, so I done a little drawing, something a little more similar to what I would normally do. So that's...
Oh my God.
Look, it's a lot different from this kind of stuff.
Oh. That's incredible.
Just so you're not as worried after you see these.
I'm not worried at all. I'm so fascinated by these because I think you're trying to find something all the time when you're playing.
Exactly.
And so to have represented in lots of different states, I think even at one time we do feel in a lot of different states.
Yeah.
But where's the most pressure?
The most pressure?
In a process for you. When do you feel the most pressure?
Probably the pressure that I put on myself to make it what I want to see and trying to replicate what I'm seeing in my head or something like that. I find it incredible. It's almost torture sometimes trying to hit that point of what I can see versus what I've created. Well, it was just a complete pleasure to meet Nicola for this first time. It was, you know, more than I'd ever imagined it would have been. It was so easy to get along with her, and yeah, I mean, seeing her perform and all that stuff as well, it was incredible.
He's such a perceptive person and highly, highly intelligent that I have no doubt he'll come up with something that is unique and that only he could produce.
For their second meeting, Nicola and Callum have chosen the spectacular setting of Westminster Abbey. The Abbey has staged every coronation since 1066 and commemorates some of our most celebrated artists, writers and musicians.
This is the first time I've ever been to Westminster Abbey. It's a really impressive building. It's so vast. So I'm meeting Nicola today and I'm going to do a series of iPad drawings, some watercolour painting and hopefully taking a lot of photos as well. Yeah, a little nervous, but eager to start.
In 2018, the artist David Hockney was commissioned to design a new stained glass window for the Abbey to honour the reign of the Queen.
I'm massively into David Hockney. Over time, he's introduced more and more technology into his practice, and for me, that's really inspiring. As far as I know, David Hockney designed this piece on an iPad before he had it sent over to somewhere who could make the stained glass window. I love the colour that he gets in it, and I know that this piece, especially, he was really concerned about maximising colour, trying to make it special through colour. David Hockney's stained glass window creates quite a contrast between the Abbey that we're in now as well, just that kind of tension between contemporary and old. It's quite refreshing, actually.
The first time I visited Westminster Abbey was when I was 11, and I was asked to play a piece of music by Bach, which is a double violin concerto. I think I was just so overwhelmed by the whole experience and just, you know, making sure I didn't do anything wrong. It was a hugely memorable day. Yay!
Hi.
Hi!
How are you doing?
How are you doing? I want to give you a hug.
Yeah,
but...
I would like to. It's really nice to see you.
Lovely to see you again. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm really excited to be in this abbey. I've never even been here before. Yeah, it's really cool.
Breathtaking, right? I think we're going over this way.
Right, okay, cool. You lead the way.
I'm like showing you around as if I know where I'm going.
Nicola's violin is a Stradivarius and is over 300 years old. Callum has never sketched on an iPad before, but eager to experiment and inspired by David Hockney, he's keen to give it a try.
Nicola's obviously a very lively person and very focused in what she's doing as well. She kind of goes into this like trance state when she's playing the violin and stuff, and so that might come through in the painting, you know. I'll try and capture an element of that, hopefully. I've definitely been listening to a lot more classical music, particularly Nicola's. I'm quite into it. It's good. Even though it's so different from what I normally listen to, you get into it quite quick. Listening to her music is probably going to seep into the work in ways that I don't quite know yet. It'll maybe just happen organically when I'm listening to music, and that's all the time when I'm painting. So that remains to be seen. I'm not sure what it's going to do just yet.
Callum and Nicola have been given exclusive access to the Abbey's attic, where Callum will explore with watercolour and take some photographs. The light through its ornate windows gives him plenty to play with. And the manipulation of light, colour and shape is key to Callum's process.
All right.
Am I allowed to smile?
Yeah, you can smile. It just...
If you smile at me, I'm going to smile back.
Okay, cool. Well... So what was it like practicing all the time when you were younger? Was there a lot of pressure on you? And how old were you when you started doing all that kind of thing as well?
So I was 4, yeah, when I started playing, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you start painting at 4?
I probably did.
Yeah. I bet you did.
I don't think I ever stopped. I just, yeah.
You don't remember life before?
Exactly. Do you remember it when you were 4?
No, but I don't remember life before playing.
So exactly, yeah. So I can see that you've been like fiddling a little bit with the violin and stuff. Is it at the point where it's maybe like an extension of your body, or is it?
That was good
just
terminology there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, like we were saying, you know, you can't remember life before doing this. I think it's just, it becomes
so natural.
So natural, and it's weird because it's the most unnatural thing in the whole world. Like the way you hold the instrument and stuff is just so awkward and uncomfortable.
Painting with watercolour is going to be a bit of a battle for me. I wouldn't say a likeness is my top priority at this stage. It's about capturing maybe a feeling. So in the past, what were some of the big performances that you've done?
Oh, just one endless treadmill tour, basically.
So you obviously have Italian roots, and do you identify as Italian, or is it just fully Scottish, or?
Well, I never grew up learning Italian, and then started studying it when I was 15.
Right.
But the Scots-Italian community, it's vibrant and fairly large and strong, so I would say there's a pride in that particular identity with where the two nations meet.
It's fighting me a little bit because of the upright position, the water's dribbling down.
How bad is it? How bad are you making me look?
Well, yeah, I just mean that, yeah, it could be anyone.
It could be anyone right now, okay, fine.
But I'm trying to, like, it's just such a unforgiving, like, medium watercolor, because it just does what it wants, and it's trying to like control that. So it does look like a person.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
all I was really going for. Anyway. I'll save the skill and the hard work for your portrait, the main one, you know. So, are you ready to see what I've been doing?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
All right, okay, well, I'm gonna...
You've given me some preemptive.
Yeah, preparing you. Ta-da!
Oh my goodness, I'm pink.
Yeah. I just thought pink was nice.
I feel like I'm giving off a very somber.
I think
Even
the
though
watercolor
I'm
does
even,
that.
it's kind of like the drooping.
It's the weight of all your commitment and stress.
That's about right. Oh wow.
Perhaps a little subtle smile, just a wee bit. The watercolor was a nice little exercise to loosen up and get to know the surroundings and the figure before I started taking some photos. Could I get like a closed eyes, you know, playing position?
If I put my bow here and then move it a bit up, then...
Yeah, so I'll give you like a...
But stay still.
when.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
That would be great. My first impression of the attic, I was thinking about the lighting straight away. I was like, okay, this is quite intense light, but in a nice way. Just that little bit here. Okay, that should be good. And I think if I have some good material from the day, I'll measure my success on that, really. If I get back and I look at the photos and something jumps out at me like it normally does, then I'm going to be happy.
In London's Belgravia is the house where violinist and musical genius Mozart lived briefly as a child and composed his first symphony. Mozart has long been an inspiration to Nicola, and his former home will be a unique and intimate setting for Callum and Nicola's third and final sitting.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Come
How
in.
are you?
Very
it's
well,
so
thank
wonderful
you.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Come in. Hi, come in.
And thank you so much for having us in your home.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it.
I mean, this is something for Callum, but particularly for me, being a classical musician. This is plenty special for me.
Excellent, excellent.
So we are in the home that you live, but that Mozart lived for about a year when he was like 7 or 8 years old.
Indeed. This is actually where he composed his first symphony.
And is it something that you think of, the presence of these historic figures? Sorry to ask you such a...
Let's put it like this. I've started learning how to play the piano.
Wow.
Would you like to come inside?
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Having concentrated on general shapes and forms in previous sittings, Callum wants to use this sitting to study the details of Nicola's face.
And I'll just take some photos and see how it looks.
Okay.
Could you slightly turn your head to the right a wee bit as well? Yeah, that's good. So can you just find like a spot kind of up a little bit? Yeah, that's great. All right.
Are there any features on my face that you're like, oh,
No, no.
I don't know how I'm going to get around that.
No, you have a very symmetrical face. And
I really don't.
I'm not that great at painting long hair, or I don't know if I'm...
You're in trouble.
I just don't do it often, so I've looked at that a couple of times and I'm like, oh, no, but it's fine.
Have you got a plan of action for the hair?
Yeah, just paint it somehow. Just somehow. Just try.
Texture.
What age were you when you first performed a violin concerto?
I was probably like 13, something like that.
Wow.
But there's a massive difference between performing a violin concerto and writing a symphony.
Right, yeah.
Like, massive difference.
Okay. Nicola's lovely, obviously, and I've gotten to know her quite well, so it's natural. It doesn't feel strange or anything. I just paint her and it's fine. She's just so kind, and you feel like she's your best friend. It makes it so much easier to find out about her and also relax when you are doing drawings and paintings and stuff, you know. So did you move to England quite young, or?
10, yeah.
10?
Yeah.
Wow.
To go to a music school.
That must have been really scary at that age as well.
I was so homesick.
Yeah.
I wasn't even that scared, really. I was more excited about being able to learn from this great teacher, but I was homesick, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. such hardship I had to endure.
Yeah. Apparently I didn't like going to nursery, so...
There you go, it's just the same.
Exactly, the exact same thing.
I just love seeing somebody concentrated on doing something serious. Usually you've got a much more serious face than you do right now because I'm complimenting you.
Yeah, I'm just like...
But
I feel like this would be incredibly boring to watch.
No,
It's
not
very,
at all. I just think it's like watching somebody compose a piece of music. Sometimes I'm moved to tears in a concert or in a rehearsal or something, and it's not even so much the music, it's the fact that I can imagine the dedication that it took a single person to sit there hours and hours and hours a day in order to create something.
Yep. So I can expect tears at the unveiling then?
I mean,
I'm joking, because that's going to be non-stop.
I'll be like, no, it's not me.
He spent so much time on it.
Oh my God, I'm going to be so nervous.
Same.
And excited.
Yeah, I'm going to be freaking out.
You're such a diva. You're such a diva.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Nicola.
Who is this?
I would like to introduce you to Annabelle,
Who is this beautiful girl? You a fellow violinist?
an aspiring violinist.
We do the same thing, right? We both play violin. Yeah. Yes. I mean, this is meant to be, because you're living in the house of one of the greatest violinists and composers ever, and now you're playing the violin. Do you enjoy playing?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah. It's quite difficult, though, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So, Annabelle, would you possibly like to play us a few notes?
Yeah, which notes?
Any ones you want. You can even just make it up if you want.
Does not sound
Yeah, it is, it is. It's sounding great. Keep going, keep going. Just keep moving. You've just not got that much rosin at the heel. That's it. That's it. Go up. Keep going. Now, and the up bow. Okay, so I'm going to tell you 10 things. Might not be exactly 10. I didn't quite go through it in my mind. First of all, this bow hold is... Never change anything about it. It's absolutely perfect. Number 2, your bow was absolutely straight along the bridge, which is exactly what you want. So that is so good.
It was really lovely to watch Nicola teaching Annabelle. It was just a really nice experience and shows a different side of Nicola that I haven't really seen yet. You know, I've seen her rehearsing and stuff, but this was passing that knowledge on. It was really like a special moment.
So what I'm going to do is just play a piece of music that Mozart wrote for violin, and you never know, you might be playing this one day. What do you think? There you go.
That's good.
Is it okay? Did I do okay? She's like, could have been better.
So I've gathered all this material and each sitting has been so different and unique. For me now, it's deciphering everything that I've got and put it into one final image. I think there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights. You know, it's quite a short time frame, so it's going to be really tough. It is just about that one last big task, but I'm eager to just start working on it now. It's, you know, it's the home stretch. I have about, I don't know, maybe 7 different variations of collage that I've got here. This is the first image I made, kind of just taking the basic shapes of the background and the abbey. This next one was a little more complicated. I was trying to fit in more of the shapes of the window in the background and play around with the other layers of the figure being kind of abstract as well and more color. I think I've definitely evolved as an artist somewhat. I'd say it's a lot more daring than what I would normally do. It's definitely different. David Hockney said something like, for me, it's all about the colour, and that was massive. I heard that and I was like, I want to do something really colourful, and I was really inspired by that Westminster Abbey trip. Right, so that's quite big. This is like the very first globe points that I'm putting down right now. Just trying to get them accurate so that I can build from here. I feel like it can always go wrong. Like, there's nothing to say that it won't go wrong. When I actually start painting, that's when I'm going to be a bit worried because, you know, I've already had that thought that, oh God, halfway through this, I better have like a backup canvas so I can like start again if I have to. There's every chance that it could go south quite quickly when I start putting the paint on the canvas.
The day of the unveiling at the Scottish National Portrait Gallery has finally arrived. After many sleepless nights and a round-the-clock painting marathon, Callum completed and delivered Nicola's portrait in the nick of time. The paint on the canvas is still wet.
It's exciting. I'm really buzzing for everyone to see the painting. I'm also really nervous, like it's so scary. Yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully everyone likes it.
There's a meticulous attention to detail in Callum's portraits, but we saw in his commission of Kelsey just how he can ramp that up to make the most beautiful stories.
I'm very excited and desperate to see what Callum has been up to because I have not seen anything, so it's going to be a complete surprise.
This is Nicola.
That's the way. I know. The fact that I'm taking part in an event where I don't have to play something incredibly difficult is just such a pleasure for me. I can just relax and enjoy it. I'm so happy that my dad's here with me today and, yeah, excited for Callum.
I'm incredibly excited, but also frightened a bit. You know, Callum's an incredibly young artist, but it's the end of a very long journey we've all had together, and this is the culmination. We're standing in this beautiful building with this fantastic, you know, collection of great portraits, and I can't wait to see what Callum has done, and I'm sure it's going to be perfect here.
There is a very interesting phenomenon, though, about a commission like this, because a brilliant artist is selected, a great subject is selected, they get together, and ultimately it's all down to the chemistry between them. We have to let go, we have to step back, and we're about to see if that chemistry works.
You're very welcome, everyone, and I know you're anticipating this very important moment, but I'm just going to prolong the expectation a moment longer while we find out something about what went into creating it. So, Callum, how long did you work on this painting?
So I had about 16 days, give or take. And
you had longer than 4 hours, though.
Yeah, exactly. That was the main thing.
And what did it feel like being painted while you were playing? Did you have to move around in a particular way?
No, not at all, actually. It was quite a meditative experience for me, having someone who is inside a completely different form of art, but so focused on what they're doing, observing what we're doing, which is making sound. So the combination was actually really comfortable.
Did you see any of the work as it was being painted?
I have seen absolutely nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
So no input, you weren't asked your opinion?
I wasn't, actually.
Right, well, okay, I can't wait any longer. Let's have a look. Time to see the portrait of Nicola Benedetti by our Portrait Artist of the Year, Callum Stevenson.
different, isn't it?
Callum, congratulations. But first of all, Nicola, your reaction.
I'm really overwhelmed, actually. I mean, it's just so powerful that yeah, wow, really amazing. Yeah. I'm not being articulate because I'm quite overwhelmed.
I can see that, yeah.
It's so contemporary. It's like a solitary thing to practice and play an instrument, and I think you just have captured that, and the light, and wow, I'm so blown away. I just can't
glad
believe
you
it.
like it.
Lost in music.
I'm speechless.
And the credible colour palette.
Colin, using the stained glass and the sun shining through it, scatters this colour across Nicola's clothing, and that's really a bold choice to do that.
Yeah, completely different from what I'd normally do as well. So I was really, you know, so many times I thought, oh man, I've made like a really audacious decision here, and I feel like it pays off. I'm trying to convey that this kind of other worldly experience. You know, I've seen Nicola play, and I thought, what better way to display that than through the light and, you know, the kind of magic of light and building this figure.
Astonishing piece of work. And I think another round of applause for our Portrait Artist of the Year, Callum Stevenson.
This is not what we were expecting.
I thought, as the curtain opened and I saw the yellow, I thought, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And then, as the whole painting came into view, you took us into a completely different colour harmony. It was really extraordinary sort of shift. It is out there, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Like I said, it was a massive risk. I felt like it was a risk anyway.
It's got such a pitch. It's like the overtones in music. It is miraculous. I mean, it is extraordinary.
Glad you like it.
Total shock, but in a really good way. I mean, really startled, because it's such a strange painting, but on a fantastic level.
Yeah, I mean, it's bold, it's brave, it's loud, but it's also intimate and personal at the same time. And I love the pixelation. It's almost like music notation
it is.
as well.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, you feel like the musicality of the brushstrokes as well as they go across. And it feels like it's filled with passion for the pair of you, actually. So, Christopher, we picked you a good winner.
I think it's extraordinary. I don't think it was what any of us were expecting, and so the surprise element is key. And I love the electric colour scheme as well. Very, very dramatic, very arresting, and I think will be really interesting when we think about how we place it in the galleries. It's a picture you actually want to see from a distance and come closer to, and your view of it changes over time, and as you get to know it, I think. Amazing.
It's fantastic, actually. I think it really captures her essence. It makes me wonder what she's playing when I look at it.
It's a massive achievement, and it's quite surreal, actually. It's my wee boy, and he's done all this, and it's been absolutely amazing. The whole family is delighted for him.
I'm very proud. He's going to go from strength to strength now. And he's young yet. He's got bits to learn as well, I would imagine. So, well done, Callum.
Everything about what he's done surpassed all my expectations. I absolutely love it. And my dad was crying, so that's an excellent sign, because he's been emotional about it. You know, he absolutely loves it. He's taken about 400 photos of it already.
The colours are amazing. I'm really impressed.
Weight off my shoulders. I was just ecstatic when Nicola seen the painting, to see her reaction, and you know, it was a good one. That was all that really mattered to me. And to have a painting in the Scottish National Portrait Gallery is amazing. I can come visit it whenever I want. I mean, that's just brilliant. I would never have imagined that this could have been possible for me. So I'm gonna go and have a good dinner tonight and a couple of beers and yeah, chill out.